So, there is a transmission that I received that I've been sort of tripping about for the past, I don't know, lots of days. I resonate with it a lot, so I would like to communicate it. I see. Well, here, let's start with this. So, what I've been trying out in my dreams is looking at things that happen in the world that I would deem to be evil. Just like in a dual sense of what good and evil is. I side with my side, and then everything else is this thing, like on extremes, right? So like genocide and like bombing people and raping people and general evil acts, like really the most dramatic evil acts. What was happening was that I was starting to have nightmares, and I was confused, and then I was gifted this story from a dear one who I don't know, just like downloading to me. So what I think is really substantial about the way that I'm now choosing to at least like try to interact with these evil forces of the world is that I'm making peace with them. And I have a long way to go for sure. But instead of having a nightmare and keying into lucidity to change it, I'm just interacting with it more and seeing what there is to learn. So I'll like keep transmitting that stuff as it unfolds more clearly. It's still sort of unclear right now, but what was given to me was this sort of like macro spirit idea of how like at some point thinking of things on a linear time frame, there's like this energy body basically, and we personify it for the purposes of a story. So this energy body has like a bunch of people in it, a bunch of like angels and higher beings or whatever, and it's like, hey, we're gonna like go into this little like quarantine sphere thing called Earth, and we're gonna become like a bunch of separate consciousnesses, and we need like people to go in as the like good guys and people to go in as the bad guys. And because there's like when you split, there's two, and there's the extremes, and what comes with emotions are the like this is good and bad, this is good and evil, this is like angels and demons and blah blah blah. So basically, like for the purposes of linking it with Western culture, this is Lucifer falling from heaven. But what's actually going on is it's like Lucifer coming down to be like, okay, I'll be that dude, I'll be that guy who heads like this side of the spectrum, and you guys do the other end of the spectrum. And then like a bunch of people follow Lucifer because they're like, yeah, you're awesome. We're gonna sacrifice our heavenly angelic stuff to go into the underworld as well. That would be awesome. And it'll just play out until the planet ascends or whatever. So yeah, like basically the way that I understand what most people, I guess, would generalize as the evil things is they're okay. So like the good is those who want to really like dive into the experience and focus in and like extract all the deliciousness and create things and be awesome and stuff, and like they're into the illusion, they're into the dream. They're the creator beings basically, I think. And then the evil is those who aren't into the dream. So it's like the people who kind of like agree with the separation and don't. So what's odd is that like the good forces who are like working to better the world, and sort of like where I feel like I am is like wanting to create things and wanting to make things better. It's where a lot of people are, I think. That's sort of like the enhance the separation in order to get to unity. And then the evil forces are trying to get out of the dream as fast as possible. And what I mean, but both of them are just trying to get back to unity, sort of. So what's another thing that's interesting is that there's this idea that's been bobbling around in my head about how like the dream of everybody here is that we want things to be better. And what we originally think is like, oh, I want it to be better for myself, so I'm going to do these things and take care of myself. And then one eventually realizes, or maybe doesn't eventually realize, depending on whatever the growth pattern is, I guess, that things are not better for me until they're better for everybody else in my sphere of influence, right? So, follow me if you will. Translate that back to the evildoers, but really just like the people who want to escape the illusion. What they consider to be better is getting out as fast as possible. So what's making it better for everybody else is to make this place so horrible that people are either more likely to get out faster, or I don't know, like it's so horrible that like beings don't want to come back and reincarnate. So it's like the destruction idea, but it's also the same thing with like people who folks who want to talk about destroying the system, like fuck the system's horrible. That is a manifestation of people who are making things horrible for the world in order to get out of the illusion. And what we want when we're trying to get out of the system is get out of the illusion. But what maybe a more creationary form of that is here we're going to dive into the system and get inside and change it and make it awesome and extract all the awesomeness, right? And I am not suggesting that either way is right. I am suggesting that both ways are the same at a very basic fundamental level of where things come from. And so I think, what I know is that what is really going to get us out of this cycle of madness that we don't like, that both sides don't like the Clash, it's like the Clash video game, and it's like, I just want to fucking play another video game right now. This is ridiculous. It's just it just keeps cycling, you can't, there's no winning. There's only cycling back into destruction and then cycling back into creation and cycling back into destruction. And if and for those of us who I think is most of us who are just no, let's play a way more awesome video game where there's way less limitations and everything is bursting with magic and superpowers and awesomeness. Then I forgot where I was going with that. But basically what I'm saying is that it's the same goal, and in order to reach the next video game, I think the way you win this game is unconditional forgiveness at a high level. I don't know how we do this exactly. I know sort of, and that's what I'm trying to do with my dreams, is go into these places where I can meet up with at least shade figures of my consciousness's manifestation of what the Cabal is, or the Illuminati, or whatever, and make peace with that idea that I have of them, at least until I'm at a point of forgiveness. And one way that I see things potentially unfolding is the people who have been running everything for centuries, or longer than centuries, but still centuries, lots of centuries. They come forward and say okay, you guys are right, we're gonna stop destroying everything, we're gonna stop fucking everything up. And from their heart, if they really came forward to say my bad, we'll start working with you guys now, and we understand that we're all in this together and we're all doing the same thing, so maybe we'll try another technique, because this thing has just been going on forever and it's just causing a bunch of suffering and it's not necessary. If that was to happen, hypothetically, could you forgive them? Would you seek vengeance? Like what would you do? You know? And I think that if we collectively sought vengeance upon those who have created suffering on this planet, then we lose the game and we have to start over from level 1. And I'm not into that. Like, I don't know how everybody else feels about this. I would love to hear what you feel about this, but I'm super not into continuing this game. I want to move on to a different game. I mean, I love everything for what it is, and it's been a great teacher, and it continues to be a great teacher. This is a great school. There's just like, I don't know, like it doesn't have to be this way, and we all know it. We see the parts that need to change. We see our brothers and sisters suffering. We see these things, and it's like, I think it's just time to give a shit, you know, and give so much of a shit that you forgive everything. I mean, eventually. Because while we're still in this game, then, like, you've still chosen which side you're on, and you're still choosing which forces to fight against, and blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know. That's, I don't know if does that make sense? I don't know. Yeah. Radical forgiveness, I think. Radical honesty and radical forgiveness, and encouraging that and projecting that incurs more in your reality, therefore my reality, therefore our reality. So I think it would be awesome if we did that and stuff. Until then, I encourage you to keep creating or keep destroying or keep doing whatever you're doing, and do it fully. Do it thoroughly. Play your part. Uphold your force. And eventually we'll all be working together, and there won't be any sides. That time is almost now. I don't know how soon now is in comparison to where we are. Time's weird. So yeah. And stuff and things.